Imagine stepping out of your bedroom and suddenly feeling nothing holding you down. The floor no longer supports your feet, and instead of standing still, you begin to float. Outside, cars drift into the air, trees sway without direction, and the entire world seems to lose its grip on reality. It feels impossible. But what if gravity suddenly disappeared? What would happen in the first seconds, the first hours, and the days that followed? Let's find out. Gravity is the invisible force that keeps everything together. It holds us on Earth's surface, keeps the oceans from floating into space, and guides the planets around the sun. Isaac Newton described gravity as a force that attracts objects with mass. Centuries later, Albert Einstein explained it in a different way. Massive objects bend space and time, and everything else follows those curves. Whether we think of it as a force or the shape of space-time, gravity controls almost everything we experience every day. Now imagine that somehow gravity suddenly vanishes. The first thing you would notice is that your weight disappears. Every person, animal, and object becomes weightless. Inside buildings, furniture, books, and electronics begin drifting through the air. Water no longer stays inside glasses or sinks. Instead, it breaks into thousands of floating droplets that reflect light like tiny mirrors. Outside, the scene becomes even stranger. Cars lose contact with the roads. Airplanes can no longer rely on normal flight, and anything not attached to the ground starts floating away. Walking would become impossible because every step would push you farther from the surface instead of keeping you balanced. But the real danger wouldn't appear immediately. It would come from the atmosphere. Earth's gravity is what keeps the air around us. Without it, the atmosphere would slowly begin escaping into space. At first, breathing would still be possible, but as the hours passed, the air would become thinner and thinner. The sky would gradually darken, turning from bright blue to deep black. Even during the daytime, as the stars became visible overhead, the oceans would also begin to change. Gravity keeps trillions of tons of water covering our planet. Without that force, the oceans would slowly drift away into space as enormous clouds of water vapor and floating droplets. Coastlines would disappear, marine life would struggle to survive, and Earth's climate would begin collapsing. Meanwhile, the moon would no longer orbit Earth. Instead, it would continue traveling through space in a straight line. Earth itself would also stop orbiting the sun and drift into the darkness of space. Without sunlight, temperatures would fall dramatically, creating a frozen world long before the atmosphere completely disappeared. The effects wouldn't stop there. Gravity is also what holds planets together. Without it, Earth would slowly lose its spherical shape, as mountains, rocks, and even the planet's interior could no longer remain bound together. Over time, our entire world would break apart into enormous pieces drifting through space, and Earth wouldn't be the only victim. The solar system itself depends entirely on gravity. The planets would leave their orbits. The sun could no longer hold itself together, eventually ending the nuclear fusion that produces its light and heat. Across the universe, galaxies would begin falling apart as stars drifted away from one another. Even black holes, the strongest gravitational objects we know, would cease to exist because gravity is the very thing that creates them. In other words, removing gravity wouldn't simply make us float, it would completely rewrite the universe. This thought experiment reminds us of something extraordinary. Gravity is actually the weakest of the four fundamental forces of nature, yet it shapes everything we see. Every mountain, every ocean, every sunrise, every planet, every galaxy, and every human life depends on this invisible force, working perfectly every second. The amazing part is that we almost never notice it. Gravity quietly does its job without asking for attention, holding together an unimaginably complex universe while we go about our daily lives. So maybe the most fascinating question isn't what would happen if gravity disappeared. Maybe it's how incredible it is that gravity has never stopped working for billions of years. If you enjoyed exploring this thought
With the
experiment,
return of gravity,
don't forget to like the
order
video,
is restored.
subscribe, and let
It
me
is
know
the
in the
quiet
comments
force that
what
anchors our
other
world,
impossible scientific scenario
bringing
would
peace
you
to
like
the
to
valley.
explore next.